The table. La mesa. La mesa. The tables. Las mesas. Las mesas. A table. Una mesa. Una mesa. Some tables. Unas mesas. Unas mesas. The chair. La silla. La silla. The chairs. Las sillas. Las sillas. A chair. Una silla. Una silla. Some chairs. Unas sillas. Unas sillas. The desk. El escritorio. El escritorio. The desks. Los escritorios. Los escritorios. A desk. Un escritorio. Un escritorio. Some desks. Unos escritorios. Unos escritorios. The bed. La cama. La cama. The beds. Las camas. Las camas. A bed. Una cama. Una cama. Some beds. Unas camas. Hello everyone, so here's the grammar that underlies this lesson. In English and in Spanish we have what's called the definite and the indefinite article. Well, what are articles? Articles are the words that we place before nouns. In English, the definite article is the for singular and plural words. For example, the house, the houses. We call it a definite article because it refers to something very specific. For example, if I say, did you bring the book that I asked you to bring? When I say the book, I'm referring to something that's very specific. The indefinite article, on the other hand, refers to something that is not so specific. In English, the indefinite article is a or an before a vowel sound, as in a car or an apple. For singular words, for plural words, it's some. For example, some cars or some apples. Again, when we use a or an or some, we're referring to something that is not very specific. For example, if I ask you the question, hey, what is it that you have there? And you answer by saying, well, it's just a book. When I say a book, it's one of many. It's not very specific. It's kind of vague. Okay, so that's why we call it the indefinite article. So let's go ahead and talk about the Spanish part. The definite article for singular words in Spanish is either el or la. And you might ask, well, how do I know whether a word takes el or whether it takes la as the definite article? And my answer to you is, well, you just have to memorize the articles that go with each noun as you learn it in Spanish. For example, how do you say the book? Well, the book is el libro. Why is it el? Well, it just is. That is the article that always goes with libro. It's what we call grammatically masculine. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't have to do anything to do with masculinity. We just arbitrarily say that words that take el are quote-unquote masculine, meaning grammatically masculine. Words that take la are feminine words, meaning grammatically feminine words. And again, that is just arbitrary. There's really no rhyme or reason for it. Some words just take el, and some words take la. There are some rules that help you to determine whether words take el or la. For example, nouns that refer to males, biological males, will always take el. For example, padre, father, el padre. Hermano, brother, el hermano. And nouns that refer to biological females will also be grammatically feminine. So, for example, madre, mother, la madre. Tía, aunt, la tía. Okay, so there are some rules like that that help you to learn that, but for the most part, it's just arbitrary. You just have to memorize the article with the noun as you learn nouns. Okay, so the next piece is when we make a grammatically masculine word plural, the el becomes los. A grammatically feminine noun, when you make it plural, the la will become las. So, el libro, the book, los libros, the books. La casa, the house, las casas, the houses. Okay? Now, this determines, the el or the la will determine whether the word is quote-unquote masculine or feminine. That same word that you learn, when it takes an indefinite article, if it takes el, the indefinite article for that word will be un. For example, el libro, the book, a book would be un libro. La casa, the house, a house would be una casa. This is what we call the singular indefinite article, un or una. Now, when you make indefinite articles plural, the un becomes unos and the una becomes unas. So, un libro, a book, some books would be unos libros. Una casa, a house, some houses would be unas casas. And there you have it. So this is the grammatical terminology. So if you're taking a university level Spanish class, this is the terminology that you'll need to know and understand. Or if you're just curious about the grammar, it's helpful to know the terminology. Okay, well that's it for this explanation and this video. I'll see you in the next lesson. Nos vemos en la próxima lección. Ciao.